Hey everybody, how you doing? You are watching the very first Out of the Game. I am JD, this is Rockman. We're going to be talking about different types of things. Why don't you let them know what we're going to be talking about?
Alright, well today, what we're going to be talking about, guys, is first off, welcome to the show and thank you for watching. You could have watched anything else, but you decided to watch us. We're very thrilled to have you. In this show, what we talk about here, as you can see, is the culture. Which, when I say the culture, that'll be video games, comic books, movies, you name it, anything that has to do with the intellectual nerd type reality.
Fanboy stuff.
Exactly.
That's how we roll.
That's how we get down. That's how we get down.
All right.
Now, before we start, I just want to say as a disclaimer, anybody that's watching this, remember, everybody has their own opinion, and that's what this show is about, is our own opinion. Me and JD's opinion.
Mine. I definitely
have mine. He has his opinion.
So, again, don't be offended. These are just our opinions. Feel free to comment, make your own statements, but this is just what we think. And this is not a culture that we hate. This is actually a culture that we love, which is why we're so passionate about talking about all these issues. Like you said, we're going to be talking about games, we're going to be talking about movies, we're going to throw in comic books, we're going to be doing some movie reviews. So just stay tuned. We think you'll see something that you're going to like.
Indeed. And also, just as I said before, remember, these people are artists that created these comics and movies. So they had the courage to do something that none of us did. So respect them as such. Yes, it's alright to tear down, review it, and criticize it, all this other stuff. But just remember, guys, this is at the end of the day your own opinion. And you have a right to form your own, just like they had a right to create it. So always respect the art.
Well, I definitely got my opinion. So that being said, what we want to talk about today, one of the two issues that we're going to talk about today, something that got real hot a couple weeks ago at the end of February, is the new casting decision of the new Fantastic Four. I'm gonna let you start because I got a lot of stuff to say, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and chime in, and let us know what you feel about it. Because once I get rolling, it's
I gotta say, everybody knows in the past with Hollywood and with the different movies being created that they always, especially when they're based off novels and comic books, so they're always, they have their liberties, as you can say, that they take with them.
Right.
Well, in this particular Fantastic Four, they have the liberty of, just for whatever reason, changing the complete ethnicity of one particular member of the Fantastic Four.
And who would that be?
That would be the Human Torch,
What?
Johnny Storm,
What?
the Great. Unfortunately, though, the way I feel about it. And I know the viewers are sitting there watching, but wait a minute, you're black. Like, why do you not like this idea? Well, because in a sense, it's blackwashing. Like, it's just basically just putting a black guy there, just say, hey, we have a black guy on our team. And there's nothing wrong with doing that if this is the original idea, but most comic book, and Michael B. Jordan, which I respect highly, and I think he's a great actor, and he'll probably do well in the role. He even said it himself, it's a continuum thing. It's something that fans want to see. Like, if nothing else exists in the comic book relativity or I guess translation from comic book to movie, is that we need at least the characters to be dead on point. And when you say like, hey, we're gonna make the Human Torch black just because we can, it doesn't help the continuum. Now that's taking me out of the belief that, oh, okay, cool, this is just like the comic books. This is more so now for me, this is a Hollywood movie.
This is your thing. This is not
That's it.
a Marvel thing. This is a Hollywood thing.
This is a Hollywood thing. Let's see if I can get an Oscar or whatever.
Right. So let me interject. I got an article here. It was written by a very talented guy. Took a lot of time to piece all this together. This pretty much summarizes the entire argument. Okay, so I'm just gonna go over a few points and I'm gonna say why I disagree with them. Okay, so the complaints about the Jordan casting boil down to these core arguments. Like you said, Johnny Storm has always been portrayed as a white character. Hollywood shouldn't try to change the character's race just for the sake of political correctness or money. Audiences will be confused about the race of iconic superhero characters suddenly changed. Having a black Johnny in a white suit means the characters aren't brother and sister anymore. Okay, those are the complaints. Now, his rebuttals are, in other movies, there have been characters that were traditionally white that have been made black. Kingpin was made black in Daredevil, Heimdall was made black in Thor, Perry White was made black in Superman, Nick Fury, so on and so forth. His other rebuttal is, unless you've read the script, sat down on the meetings, it's presumptuous to claim that you understand the motivations behind this change. We understand the motivation behind the change. There's no reason to change it. Okay, so the other rebuttal is just like that time everybody's brain melted when WB replaced Billy D. Williams, Harvey Dent with Tommy Lee Jones and Two-Face. I didn't care. Who cared?
No, I mean,
I didn't. When you transition from Tim Burton to Joel Schumacher, there's going to be some changes. Exactly. The guy playing Batman changed, so why not change Two-Face? Okay, so that throws that completely out the window. Not even going to address that. Okay, a mixed race family, that's impossible. That's a good rebuttal. But, like you said, there are certain staples in the iconography of this whole comic book genre. There's certain staples that shouldn't be trifled with.
No.
I mean, later on in this article, he talks about, Captain America being one of the characters. Obviously, he has to be white. Well, okay, if Captain America has to be white, that's fine. But Johnny Storm and Sue Storm are traditionally white characters. Don't change it just because you want to make your black fan base happy, or just because you're trying to make a particular fan base happy.
And here's the thing: if it's okay for Captain America to obviously be white, how come they couldn't do that with Human Torch?
Right. I mean,
do we have one icon that's better than the other? I mean, it shouldn't come down to like, well, it's Captain America, so that, because by that same principle, it's Human Torch. And he's always been that in the comics, so why not?
And just like Captain America, Fantastic Four was one of those core groups that was the cornerstone of Marvel.
Very instrumental.
You had Spider-Man, you had Captain America, you had the Hulk, you had Thor. You had the Fantastic Four as one of the startup groups of this company.
Absolutely.
During that time, and he discusses in this article, during that time, black African American actors and parts and certain items like this wasn't really predominant. And that's fine. It wasn't the thing to do back then, and so they didn't do it. We see this in the Looney Tunes. We see this in all kinds of cartoons. Cartoons that were based back during that time didn't have a lot of black characters in it. And when they were stereotypical. It was a maid or something like that.
During that time, a lot of us were regionalized because in Japan, in Japanese animation, they don't have a lot of black people because they simply don't see us over there.
Right.
So it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind sometimes.
Right. Another point that he raises in the article, he states that the fact that the previous set of movies downplayed the family element is one of the reasons why they weren't very good. They just weren't good. It had nothing to do with the family, okay? It had nothing to do with the family. They just weren't good movies. It had nothing to do with it.
When you have great A-list actors, and I'm looking into the camera here because I'm telling you, this is, like, for example, in that particular movie, I believe Jessica Alba was in that one, as well as the guy, is it Chris Evans?
It was Chris Evans. That's right. Who is now Captain America?
They were phenomenal actors.
Right.
So it's not their fault. It's just the script was really bad. And then you have Daredevil, where it was Ben Affleck and a bad script.
Hey man, that's another show. We can't.
That's okay. Yeah.
Let's keep it right here. Let's keep it right here. Okay, so then he goes on to say, suddenly the family element, that most basic and defining trait of the Fantastic Four, becomes the central theme of the movie. He's suggesting that should be the theme. That this whole black-white thing should challenge the idea of the traditional family, and that should be the theme of the movie. No. The theme of the movie should be the theme of the book. The theme of the movie, when you start this out, is these people that have been stuck in this extraordinary circumstance, and out of this circumstance, they got powers. How do you deal with the powers? How do you control the powers? That's the theme. It has nothing to do with family. It shouldn't have anything to do with family other than the fact that Johnny Storm and Sue Storm are brother and sister, and they're both white, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with it. No disrespect to Michael B. Jordan. I know he's a fantastic actor.
Loved him in Chronicle.
Even though he was the black guy and he did die first. I didn't like that. But anyway, Fruitvale Station was the one where it kind of took him over the top. Exactly. He did an excellent job in that. Have no question whether or not he'll be able to pull off the part. But don't just do it because you're trying to make money or you feel like it's going to appeal to a different audience. I felt the same way about Heimdall and Thor. No disrespect to Idris Elba. No disrespect.
And sorry to interject here, but I feel like they're missing what Marvel Big's core has always been. Like, their core has always been these extraordinary people with powers trying to live normal lives.
Right.
They've always tried to get away from that. And it's like, stop. Like, stay in that, because if you look at Marvel as compared to DC, all DC's heroes are majestic. But Marvel's heroes, their whole point, their whole dream life is to just walk into a grocery store buy some bread, and leave. And
Right.
no one stopped them and said, hey, you're this, or hey, you're Wolverine,
Right,
do this,
right.
or hey, I'm going to kill you, you know?
And that's a great point because, and that leads me to what I was going to say next. When you're trying to appease all cultures, it's quite hard because everybody has their own sensibilities. Everybody gets offended about different things. It's darn near impossible.
Way too sensitive.
My only point is make it natural. Okay, if it's natural for a black guy to be in KFC at 6 o'clock at night, then put a black guy in KFC at 6 o'clock at night.
It's bound to happen.
It's bound to happen.
I've
It's bound to
been
happen.
that guy a few times.
It's bound to happen. If you put these different racial things in a natural setting, it doesn't feel forced. This to me feels forced. It's like, oh, we're gonna put this guy in here,
And it's
and
not
we don't
even-
care what anybody has to say.
you
We're
know,
just gonna put him in there.
Going back to that family core value thing they're trying to, that's a manufactured family. That's not even natural. That's a, hey, there's 3 white people and let's just put a black guy in there just so, you know, hey, we're not racist. That's what it is.
Just put a black guy in there.
It's reverse
They're
racism.
not racist.
They're not racist.
You think that's what they're trying to say?
That's
Well, okay, that's another good point. And he goes on in the article to say some more stuff about other movies. Okay, so he talks about, you know, Captain America. If you're not trying to be racist or you don't want race to play a part of it, then I have to start picking apart some of the other movies, okay? Very first X-Men movie. Why is it that a traditional African character in Storm was played by Halle Berry? Looks nothing like the character. If we're not trying to be racial, then why are we lightening up Storm and she was from Africa? She was an African goddess.
You know why?
She was an African goddess.
You know why,
Why?
that is, JD? That's because, above all else, the core family values, all these other things, you know what it really is?
What?
Halle Berry was marketable. That's what it really comes down to.
Well,
That's it's. I don't agree with it either. I think someone else should have got cast.
But
for
wait a
it.
minute, He said it's not because of political correctness or money. That's what he said.
But you know,
He said it's not because of political correctness or money.
Hollywood says a lot of things. Like they told us the Fantastic Four, the first movie was gonna be good.
But look, here's the other point. If you're going to do this, then why is it in the second Fantastic Four installation? Because he mentioned somewhere in here about how Jessica Alba, she has Latino heritage. Okay, she does. Okay, so why in the second movie did you try to white her up? We all know that her hair color was more blonde, that her eyes were more blue. So what did you try to do that for if it doesn't matter what race these people are? They were trying to stick to what was done originally, which is why they changed her appearance. If it's not an issue, don't change her appearance at all. Don't change her appearance. And if we're gonna go there, why not just change everything? If you're gonna make Johnny Storm black, why not make Sue Storm black as well? Or African American, I'm sorry. If you're gonna do that, why not have an Asian Wonder Woman in the Justice League movie?
Here's something.
Let's make Wesley Snipes Superman, why don't we? I mean, what? Since we're not trying to be in any boundaries or anything.
No, let's make the whole Fantastic Four.
Let's make them all black.
Let's make them all black.
Let's make them all black.
Let's do it.
I mean, the thing, we don't really know, we don't have to know what he's gonna be Orange Rock.
We can get Michael Jai White to play the thing. We can
make Michael Jai White to play the thing. Who's gonna play Mr. Fantastic?
It's fantastic. Idris Elba. We can get him to do it.
He's already been Heimdall. You can't.
You can't cross the streets. You cross the streets.
You cross the universes now.
Can't. Man. Yes.
Okay, so back to what they're trying to force, and going back to these other movies that he mentioned. He mentioned The Kingpin and Daredevil. It was a horrible movie. It was horrible.
The fact that he used
kind of don't use that as a reference because you got to use something good.
No.
Okay, so Heimdall and Thor. Now, again, like I said earlier, no disrespect to Idris Elba. I think he's a fantastic actor. I think he's done great things in movies. He's played the thug when he was in The Wire. He did an excellent job. Oh, Rock and Roller. That's a whole nother show. He did an excellent job playing Mandela.
Yes.
In the Nelson Mandela movie. But you have other options. There are a plethora of actors out here that could play this Johnny Storm role. And I'm not going to mention them by name. That's y'all job. I don't get paid to do that. So y'all figure it out. But the Heimdall character, who I always thought would be a great person to play that spot, would be Tyler Mane, the guy who played Ajax in Troy.
Yes.
So you've got an actor who's got the physical capabilities. And Heimdall was always a secondary character. He wasn't a main tier character in the Thor universe or hierarchy. But the guy, Tyler Mane, he looks like a big Viking. So he could have did just the same thing.
He could have.
I mean, why are we trying to force something in a whole different direction? And I think what's missing out of this entire argument is you're forgetting the core fan.
Oh yeah.
Your core fan is going to be your second, your third, and your fourth watches. Your core fan is going to be how you get from a $10 million movie to a $1 billion movie.
Exactly.
That's how you're going to get there.
And that was proven in Avengers.
Exactly.
I mean, and I understand. I think a lot of people it kills me because they're always saying, well, you know, Hollywood, they're all about attaching names so that they can get funding and producers and get money for production, and we understand that. But another thing to understand too is that at some point, at the end of the day, you do have to think about that core fan.
Right.
I believe when you create something, 50% of it is for the creator, and the other 50% is for the actual fan or the person who basically will buy the creation that the creator is doing. So I'm not saying you got to think purely of the fans. I mean, whatever, we understand you got to put your own spin
But you can't ignore them.
But
it's going to be a big part. I mean,
like, that's ridiculous.
Even as he goes further in this argument or in this article, he says basically there's a core to every character that has to remain intact regardless of what else has changed. So you can't say that it shouldn't be a problem to change the character and then come back and say something like this, there's a core to every character. Well, if it should remain intact, let's keep it intact. Johnny Storm was a white guy, that's fine. I don't have any problems with white brothers and sisters because there's black brothers and sisters. Why should I have an issue with that? I don't have an issue at all.
And they're missing the point of that, you know, your race or ethnicity does to some extent influence who you are as a person.
Right.
So you're already taking away from that personality by saying, hey, he's now black.
Right.
You know, I mean,
because that's a different, in a lot of cases, that's a whole different personality set.
A whole different personality set. You can't imagine a white Luke Cage, and why can't you imagine a white Luke Cage? Because he was born in Hell's Kitchen. So I mean, and it's not. Yeah, I mean, so and at that time he was born to be like a Harlem hero.
Yeah.
And there weren't many of. Like,
okay, so check this out. Can you imagine this? Okay, so all the kids out there that love Twilight, can you imagine what the repercussions would have been if they would have showed Twilight and Bella was black? How about that?
That would have just no, because first off,
what'd you say?
I hate Twilight, period. But you know, all of like the little like stay-at-home moms and everybody who read that book, including the little tweens, would have a field day with it. As a matter of fact, some of them are still.
According to this guy, should be okay.
No,
that's not okay.
No, they would kill people. I think somebody.
You think there would be a revolt? You think there would be a revolution if Bella was black?
All I gotta say.
Do they have any more movies to make?
Well, they got one more, I think.
Make Bella black. You make Johnny Storm black, make Bella black.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
I mean,
I'm not ready for the fallout.
Why not?
I'm not ready to get killed by little like tweeds at Walmart.
Why not? I'm gonna start a campaign. Make Bella black. Make Bella black.
Don't do it. I'm just saying, you know, it's bad enough white people dragged into Twilight. Don't drag the black people into Twilight.
You're being racial, man. That's
I went there. That's what I do. I went there.
So basically, if you want to be successful, this is to all the movie people out there who are trying to adapt a movie from a book. Don't forget your core fan. It's okay that these characters are made in a time where, you know, white was the thing to be, and that's fine. That's a time in our history that we cannot deny. But don't change it for money's sake. Don't change it because you feel like it's going to appeal to a different audience. As we just read, there's a lot of contradictions, there's a lot of different opinions, but don't take the character out of what it was originally, because then you're starting to lose your core audience. And that's why you see the difference between the movies that Marvel has a hands-on approach in doing. The Captain America movie, the Avengers movie, the Incredible Hulk movie, the Thor movies. Those movies are different because Marvel's in control and they're not doing a bunch of different things to what the story was in its original state.
Exactly.
So for these other companies like Fox and Columbia who's doing the Spider-Man, when you start changing a lot of this stuff, you start losing your core. And that's where you're going to make your money. If it's about a money grab, that's where you're going to make your money.
It's not to say that changes won't happen, because they will happen. Because I mean, a lot of great movies that a lot of comic book fans and manga fans revere, like Watchmen and Oldboy, they were very different from the comic stance, but they weren't so different to where we didn't recognize them.
300 was like straight up from the book, and I loved it. And everybody else loved it. So I don't know what the problem is. Y'all need to get with it, because that was a success, and you can't lose when you do that. Have we beat this to sleep enough? I mean, we pretty much beaten this one to sleep. You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. I mean, just the only thing is, I'm probably not gonna go see the movie.
Okay. Yeah.
I probably
just. That's the bottom line. If you don't, because I'm not gonna see it.
I mean, please, by all means, go
No
form your own
disrespect to
opinion.
the cast.
You know, and
Jay
Michael B.
Bell,
Jordan, holla
Michael
at
B.
me.
Jordan,
I
Kate
love you
Mara,
as an
the
actor.
guys playing
but-
Mr. Richards. No disrespect to any of them or the filmmakers,
I don't
but
think I'm gonna go
I'm
see it.
going to pass on that one. Okay, so next up, another hot topic
Oh, here we go.
that was also dropped around the same time is Assassin's Creed number 5. We all know
They're
about...
still making it. Yes.
Yeah, they're still making. Okay, so anybody who's an Assassin's Creed fan, you had Assassin's Creed, the first one, you had the Ezio trilogy, you had Assassin's Creed 3, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. So now we're up to Assassin's Creed 5. Now, the big news about this story was that, okay, the subtitle of this article I have in front of me says no samurai, no samurai, okay? But will be set in Jade Raymond's, who is the executive over the project. It'll be set in her favorite historical area, but no samurais.
Now, to interject, people.
No samurai.
No samurais.
No.
None.
No.
To interject here.
Wait, let me quote. Ubisoft Toronto executive Jade Raymond told Adweek that Assassin's Creed 5 won't take place during feudal Japan. Go.
Okay. Now, first off, here's where that rumor came from. Apparently, in one of the Assassin's Creed, I believe what their rendition, I guess, and samurais aren't in this one yet. In one of the games, there's a scene to where someone from that period comes up and asks for help from one of the assassins. And everyone, it was believed to, like, everybody thought that, like, okay, cool, it's gonna be, that's it, the samurai period. We're going into it.
And it was exciting, right?
And everybody
We saw it. It was exciting.
Everybody's
Right.
like, yes, we're going into it. Well, after that happened, Jade Raymond came in. She said, "No, it's never gonna happen. That's not really one of my favorite periods, so it's not happening." Now, here's where we're just kind of like, why? It's because if anyone,
that's how you feel. I've got completely different. But go ahead, follow me.
If anyone knows their history and anyone knows, well, all of us do, because if you're a video gamer, you've ran into samurais one way or another. I mean, think about it. You had Onimusha, Genji Days of the Blade, all kind of great stuff. The Seven Samurai.
So samurais are cool.
Samurais are actually really awesome.
But they're not gonna be in this.
You know, but they're not going to be in
They're
this
not
one.
gonna be in this game.
Simply because she feels, and I guess after reading most of the article, she feels like that's not a great period. But if you look at every animation and almost a lot of these action movies and a lot
Talking
of
about movies with samurais?
yeah, I mean, well, movies with samurais, but I mean, just to give an introduction, cowboys and samurais are very much alike. As a matter of fact, in a lot of the Japanese culture and a lot of the American culture, they have a lot of movies that bring the two together.
Right.
You know, so it's almost
So
like
samurais are
combination.
cool.
Oh, samurais are phenomenal.
But they're not gonna be in this game.
But they're not going to be in
They're not gonna be in
Assassin's
this game.
Creed.
Do they kill people?
Well, they assassinate apparently.
But they're not gonna be in this game.
No.
Okay.
I guess Assassin's Creed is
You
like
know who
they
else?
only have pirates.
You know what other kind of person they had around during this time? They had ninjas around during this time.
Ninjas?
Let me read to you what ninjas
Oh
did.
my God, what do ninjas do?
A ninja or shinobi was a covert agent or mercenary in feudal Japan, which this game's not gonna take place.
No.
Okay. The functions of the ninja included espionage, sabotage, infiltration, and assassination. Let me read that again. The functions of a ninja included espionage, sabotage, infiltration, and assassination. I don't even want to read the rest. I don't have to read the rest. I don't even have to read the rest because ninjas are cool, and you're not gonna have ninjas in this game because it's not gonna take place in feudal Japan. It says here that Raymond squashed the rumored setting while talking about the Assassin's Creed franchise and mentioned that the next game will feature her favorite historical era, though she couldn't offer any more hints.
Sorry, she squashed it like it was a beef.
Squashed
She
it
just
like it
squashed
was a
like
beef.
it was never gonna happen.
Oh, y'all want it to
Just-
be in feudal Japan? Well, I'm gonna tell you, it ain't gonna be in feudal Japan because
you got to go through it.
samurais and ninjas apparently are not interesting.
Oh no. You know,
I mean,
there's only
samurais, what they had katana blades. You know, they fought with honor. Ninjas had a wide variety of weapons. They had skies, they had stars, they had daggers.
ninjas. You know, they hid in the shadows.
They hid in the
right?
shadows.
and then they just killed people.
They assassinated people. But they're not gonna be in this game.
And you know, in Assassin's Creed, you hide the shadows and then you jump down.
Do you?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Really?
That's what I heard.
Oh, okay. All right. So basically, what I feel is that you're losing your mind. Okay. There was a certain, I think it was a downloadable content where you saw how one of these storylines ended, and it ended with one of the primary assassins being approached by someone from Japan. How do we know she was from Japan? Because she said she was from Japan. She was dressed like a samurai. samurai, half ninja, which excited everybody, right? So now when you come out with this news that it's not going to take place in feudal Japan, it just makes it seem like you're just bucking the system just for the sake of bucking the system. I mean, why?
It's just
ninjas assassinate people. What's the name of the game?
And that's such a big
What's the name
tease.
of the game?
Such a big tease. Assassin's Creed.
Okay, that's what I thought.
But you know, like, again, it's such a big tease because ninjas, like, they're the perfect assassins. Even in most of the Deadliest Warrior, you know, they always are revered as like.
How many ninja games do you think are out there? How many ninja games?
I must own
Ninja
at least
Gaiden,
like 40 at my house.
Tenchu, Shinobi. There's a lot of ninja games out there. So
of
ninja
samurai
games are cool.
Oh, well, you know.
For the most part.
For the most part.
For the most part. But you're not going to put a ninja or a samurai in this game.
You know what I think it is?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I think they were sitting down, right? And they were playing ninjas versus pirates. And they just chose pirates. That's it.
They chose pirates?
You know.
Okay, so now I'm hoping that all of this is just a filibuster or whatever you call it, a fake. I hope that she's playing. I hope that she's not serious. Because if she is, then you already lost a certain amount of money. Because in my mind, this was the anticipation of where this game was going to go next. We've beaten the pirates to death, okay? We've beaten the battleships, the pirate. We've beaten that. It's done. It's over, okay? Pirates are cool to some people, but come on now.
You know, they even
pirate and a ninja.
They even did slavery.
They did slavery.
How do you skip ninjas?
They did slavery
and
in Assassin's Creed 4's DLC.
As a black person, that makes me happy that they're like, hey.
I'm sorry, y'all. It made me very happy. I haven't played it yet, but when you put me in a character that I could be a slave and like kill my slave masters.
That's dope. Every time.
Do I need to say anything else?
Every time. So
I mean, we're past that now, of course. We're past 2014. We're past that. But it doesn't mean that it wasn't cool.
And you would think that, you know, that would probably be more taboo for them than the ninjas. I mean, I'm just like,
yeah, if you're gonna shy away from anything, it would be that. Oh, we're gonna have a slave killing slave masters? Oh my God, what? No, can't do that, can't do that, can't do that. But they did it. They did it, and now they're not doing samurais and ninjas. Two of the probably most famous types of warriors or killers in history. Not just American history, not Japan history, but just history, period. What other warriors do you know are more celebrated than samurai Japan? Maybe a knight? Maybe a Viking?
No,
maybe.
I gotta have my samurai.
Maybe a knight, a Viking.
You
got to have your samurai. So, that being said, Miss Raymond, we urge you to reconsider. Don't know what kind of pressures you're under. Don't know why you said what you said, and maybe it's a trick, and we hope that it is. Because I would like to keep purchasing Assassin's Creed games because I quite enjoy them.
You see that? I'm stopping at 8. I know they're gonna go past 8. I'm stopping.
I want them to go to 18. We know that there's certain pressures in working in this field. You know, video games is $1 billion industry right now. We know there's a lot of pressure involved in that. You know, where's the next big hit coming from? But don't do this. This you gotta think for a few minutes, okay? Just think about what you're doing before you do it, okay? Assassins, ninjas, samurais, they all kind of go hand in hand. I would think that, you know, that would be the main goal of a game like this. What's it called again?
Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed. But they're not gonna. Okay, I'm not gonna say that again. I think I beat that to death. Okay, so 2 very good topics today. Two very good topics today. We're gonna be back soon. We're gonna be back, and we're gonna be discussing more topics. In the meantime, as soon as this is posted, people, we urge you to put your comments in. Let us know what you think about the show.
Like,
this is out of the game.
Do other stuff.
Everything we're talking about is going to be out of the world of video games, movies, comic books. And we're going to have different topics for you every time you see us.
We're going to spread it out on the table.
You decide how you want to take it. Again, these are our opinions. Don't be mad. Don't be offended. We hope we didn't offend anybody. But this is how we feel. And this is what we're going to do. This is what we love. We love this genre. And we're here to stay. All right. You got anything to say to those folks, man?
No, just stop at Assassin's Creed 8. Seriously, just let it go.
18. Ninjas are cool. So look, I'm JD. This is Rockman. You've been watching Out of the Game. And remember, if you're going to play it right.
If you're gonna do it right.
We out. Make Bella black.